And good morning, fellow ticket holders, to our first full day here in Japan. As you can see, and if you've watched our travel vlog, it's still dark out there today at the Kurume train station in Kyushu, Japan. That is because it is 5 o'clock in the morning and we're going to be catching a train here, the first local train out the Amagase Onsen town. And not only are we going to start our day with that lovely view of the train station, we are going to try this energy inn that we picked up yesterday at the convenience store, and I already drank mine. And basically it tastes like grape jelly or like grape candy, like the artificial grape. Now I was looking at what was on the back, what was in it, just make sure it wasn't like a real energy drink, and basically it's full of just carbohydrates and vitamin C to give us the energy to get started for today. And just like I pointed out in the room tour, unfortunately the refrigerator wasn't working, which means we can't eat our breakfast sandwiches that we got, so we will have to pick something up at the Family Mart here at the train station this morning. Hopefully we can get that at 6 when they open and then hit the train at 6:14, 6:15, whatever it is. But back to what we're going to do today. Amagase Onsen town has been around for a very long time, since, what is it,
8th century.
Books say about the 8th century, so a very old town. But what is more unique about it than tomorrow when we go to Kinosaki Onsen town is that it is made up of about 20 hot springs, and they have ryokans and things that are covering those, as well as at least 3 that are outdoor, just jump in natural hot springs that the public can use. And we're gonna at least do one of those today. Yeah, that definitely means we have to, in the buff, outside in the open, get into the hot spring. But the one that we're looking at does have a cover shade around it. It's a little bit more privacy. But yeah, let's get started with our first full day here in Japan. So we stepped into this 24-hour place to see what they got, and in here they got ice cream and paletas. Over here it looks like we got some croquettes. Oh, it's all frozen. Okay, so it's not stuff you could eat right now. You'd have to find a microwave or something. Some beef to go on the grill. Some snow packs to keep it cold. That's actually what we needed for our sandwiches last night. 50 cents. Got some Hamburg steaks over here and some frozen gyozas. So this is not something that you get and take back to your room unless you have a little kitchen or something. But look how cool the neon signs are. So we have made it to the front of the train station, and right over there is our hotel. But in yesterday's video I showed the little ramen cart right there. When we pan across, this is where the big clock is, right in front of the station here. But over here to the right is what I want to show. There's a big tire over here. So as I said, there's this really big tire here, and it may not seem like it's much of a significance, but the sign over here tells what's going on. So Kurume City to the world is the birthplace of the rubber industry. Kurume City flourished around the rubber industry, and many related companies are still here, such as Moonstar and Asahi Shoes Bridgestone. So Firestone, Bridgestone tires type situation. That's why there's this big tire here. And what this says in the middle is approximately 4 meters in diameter and approximately 5 tons in weight, one of the world's largest tires for a construction vehicle. And there's actually photos here showing it. So like right there is the Bridgestone tire creation. Over here is the shoe company. A couple other things down here. And here's one last shot of this clock. I don't know how it showed out last night, but it's like a taiko drum. And they got the chickens up top. This does a whole show. The whole face spins and everything. But it's really nice and detailed. Really like that. But we are early, but it looks like you can just go into the train stations here. So let's go into Kurume Station and prep for our ride to Amagase Onsen this morning. And today we're not getting on the Shinkansen. We need to head to the local line entrance, which is down here to the right, I believe. And here's the display inside the train station for Asahi Shoes and Moonstar shoes. So I wondered what Moonstar were. It looks like they make shoes, leather shoes. And Asahi makes athletic wear. So that's our track up there, number 3612, I believe. No, we're track 2. I was looking at the wrong one. So here we are. We are the top one up there, headed to Ōita. 614, track 2. But look what we got over here. We have a Halloween display over here. Look how cute. It's very similar to what Cedar Fair has for the little pumpkins down here. So cool. Very neat. They're ready for Halloween. Very interesting that the escalators only move when you step in front of them with sensors, but track 2 is straight ahead. And here's our train right now. Obviously it's not going to allow us in yet because it's the first train of the day, so it is sitting here, but they're not ready to open it. But look how cool this little red train is. It's a 2-car train, a 200 DC diesel on the Kyushu Railing Company. About an hour and a half. So excited to ride this train and the green train later today, the Ufu no Mori. So fun. Now we were going to hit up the Family Mart, but they don't open till 6, and I wanted to make sure we didn't miss the train, so we are going to use a vending machine. Not our first time, it's actually going to be our 3rd time because I used it this morning for some water. But yeah, we're going to pick up some water right here. And our train has opened. Let's get on to it. And one more shot of our hotel before we leave Kurume Station. Look how beautiful that cotton candy sky is this morning. Look how unique this train station is. It looks like a duck. I saw pictures of these on the internet of unique buildings in Japan. And we have made it to Amagase Onsen town. This is it at the train station. The station's right down here. And we just showed the conductor our JR passes we got off, so I'm assuming they don't scan it down here, but we'll find out. But we definitely just had to show it to him to get off the train, though it hasn't been scanned a second time, so I don't know how that works, but I guess we'll figure that out later. And as we make our way into the station, look how cute this is. Welcome Amagase Hot Spring. All the little statues and things. Really cool and pretty. And even down the steps here we have some art, some bears. There's a fox lady. I have no idea what this sign says. It's not even showing up. And a couple more little paper cutout guys here. Oh, so much art and kawaii anime stuff to look at this whole trip. And this poster here is just showing Amagase Onsen, and this is their little logo here. It's a guy in an onsen. There's out in his arms. That's the steam, and he's just sitting in the hot springs that we're going to do here momentarily. And speaking of art, here's 2 more of the trains. So the Ufu, this is what we're going to be taking back later when we go back towards Hita. And this is the green one, the Ufu no Mori. We'll be taking that all the way back to Fukuoka later. And this train conductor guy here, he's serving up some hot springs. That's what that logo means. That's the hot spring logo. And look how pretty the stained glass is here at the station as I go up the handicap ramp. So pretty. And the roses down here. Alright, let's head out of the station now, I think. So much to see, so little time. outside the station here, we have a relaxing hand bath. And look, there's like some birds here and a little, I guess a Buddha kind. Let's see. Ooh, it's warm. And over here on the other side, it looks like you have a foot bath. You can sit right over here, put your feet in. I'm gonna assume it's just as warm as the other one. That's a little bit hotter. So have a hand and a foot bath here at the station. So here's a quick overview map of the town. Some waterfalls down here. We're gonna try to catch the one here in a moment, but we can see across here. It's all along the riverside here. And luckily there are some public restrooms. So one here at the station, there's one a little bit down the street, there's one marked here. I don't know why the other two aren't marked here, but along the way is where you got the hot springs along the river. There used to be more that were open, but there was a flood not too long ago, and it destroyed a lot of those. So I believe the 3 that are open will be these 3 right here. So we're gonna work our way down the river later and check them out and get into one of them. But yeah, here's a little bit of the overview. And over here across the street's where the waterfall is, and that's where we're gonna head to next. Alright, so we're headed this way towards Sakuradaki. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Should be this direction towards the waterfall. Just got this nice wilderness path all the way up through here to the waterfall. And it looks like we have a shrine here on our right hand side. I can hear the waterfall. Look how gorgeous this park is. You would never know it's over here too easily other than the few signs if you can read them, but got this nice park here on our way over to the waterfall.
It is a waterfall that spans the Kusu River, which originates from the Gonma Highlands and joins the Kusu River, with a drop of approximately 25 meters and a width of approximately 15 meters. It is said that the name桜滝, Sakura Falls, was given because of the abundance of water, and the falling waters forms countless very fine streaks, and the droplets resemble cherry blossoms. Bongo Gunshini, a topographical guide to Bongo Province, written in 1803, describes the delicate beauty of this waterfall as saying, "It shatters like a flower and flows like a bamboo blind." It is a waterfall that has been admired and loved by writers and artists since the Edo period. In the spring, they are budding fresh greenery. In the summer, spray flowers, and in the autumn leaves are the theme of the painting, while the mist that grows in the winter is reminiscent of a fairyland, and each season presents an elegant view. It arouses a heartfelt, poetic feeling.
Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. I remember when we went to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, I wanted to see a waterfall this magnificent, and we climbed a few mountains to see some, and they weren't this full, but with the amount of rain that they've been getting, this is amazing. This is the type of waterfall I've always wanted to see in person. You notice here there's lights under the trees to light everything up, and as we were walking down through here, there's lights along the poles. That's because actually during the summertime, and I think they're still doing it right now, they actually light up the waterfall. And it looks like right here they were taking a survey from people. Vanessa just did translate, and basically they're getting people's thoughts on what it was like, how safe was it, how easy was it to get here, and if they were to start charging for the event, how much would someone pay. So it looks like, I believe down here was they wouldn't pay anything at all, up to 1,000 yen. And the second majority is somewhere between 5 and free. And you have a little guest book here. And put her name right here, Chad and Vanessa, 2 tickets to adventure, number 19. And looks like we have some people from Canada up here I saw. Everything else I can't read. Yeah, just as I said, wow, the Sakura waterfall was fantastic.
So beautiful.
And again, as I mentioned, I always wanted to see something like that when we were in the Smoky Mountains, and you never find that without going way out in the middle of nowhere. And this is only literally like a 10-minute walk from the train station. So when I saw this online, we had to go here before we hit up the hot spring. So at this point, we're gonna go walk over towards the edge of the river and walk down through and find the one hot spring that we've been wanting to get into, and I guess get undressed and get in. So let's continue on. So as we make our way down through the river, we're just gonna walk through town here and just check everything out, admire the town that is, and hopefully will be again, seeing as I was talking about earlier, the floods kind of just flooded it out. Look at these cool purple flowers.
I've seen them before. Yeah, we have them in the States.
I've never seen those before. So this European theater style building here used to be a ryokan, or a traditional hotel, but it was majorly damaged from the information that we could find when we were researching of what it was in the storm. So it's kind of abandoned at this point, which is kind of creepy. So is most of this town, which to see these cars and trucks going by definitely brings a little life to it from other things when we were doing research and seeing it basically empty. But over here is really interesting. There's like a tree. Now I thought this tree was real, but I can tell now, not on video and in person, that that is fake, but there's a dragon up there. And here we are, we have made it to, I guess technically the second bridge, but this one we can actually walk across and look in that direction, the way we came from. Look how beautiful this river is. And if we peer up the river this other direction, it looks so beautiful. Actually right down there I believe is the one hot spring that we're trying to get to. I thought it had some covering, but it doesn't look like there is. And there's another one right underneath the red bridge that you can actually get into. And we already passed the third one, but there were people in it, and so we just kept moving. Oh my goodness, how beautiful is this town? And if it was still thriving as it was before the storm, from what we could tell, it's definitely a good place to come and have a quick vacation or a weekend. This ryokan over here, this hotel, actually is still running, and it's connected by that bridge. And as we look up the river here, we can see that theater style ryokan building right here. All right, and here we are. We are at the hot spring we're going to visit today. Got little baskets to put our clothes into, and it's 100 yen. There's no one down here. It does smell like sulfur, because it's supposed to be a sulfur hot spring. So we're gonna get in and try to enjoy this outdoor hot spring. So we did just get into that hot tub. A couple guys showed up right as we're getting in as well. So I couldn't get out the GoPro to show us in it, but I'll give Vanessa's thought on it. Wow, that was really hot. Definitely has the smell of eggs because it's sulfur, but really hot, and my legs are really tingling. So we're gonna try this other one down here. They say it's not as hot from the videos that we watched, and there's currently no one down here either. So let's go give this one a try. And again, before anybody shows up, here is the third one. Again, I didn't show the first one because there's people in it. Just showed the second one. Here we go. Another little hot spring here. This doesn't really have much in their overhang, so we're just gonna hang it on the pole here. So hopefully this one's not as hot. Let's find out. All right, we have made it into one of the hot springs. Look at the river behind us. Really peaceful. No one has showed up here yet. But yeah, just gonna hang out here for a few minutes before we head over to Hita. All right, so before we leave Amagase, we're gonna talk about it real quick. So I gave my thoughts on the first one. What did you think of that first one we did?
It was so hot.
Yes.
But I wish I could have stayed a little bit more, but
time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence.
And we gotta move on to Hita.
I'm glad we got to try two of them.
Yeah.
And the second one,
yeah,
it wasn't
right here.
really cold, and it was
like lukewarm.
And it was so refreshing.
Yeah.
And to be surrounded
right
by the river,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Such a beautiful town, but we only have a couple hours here. We got to make the few minute walk back, about 15-minute back to the train, and we don't want to miss the one train headed back to Hita. Got a lot of things on the schedule for today, so we're gonna work our way back to the train station and catch the Yufu red train. And before we leave, I'm gonna take one more pan here on the river. So right there is the hot spring we were just sitting in. But oh my gosh, look how gorgeous. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that in these vlogs, and I apologize, but everything's just so magnificent here in the countryside. So beautiful and peaceful. Definitely medication for the soul. I wish we could spend more time here. Maybe one day we'll make it back and we'll be able to stay right here at this ryokan, and maybe the town will be thriving a little more and we'll be able to do a lot more things. And actually talking about thriving, so this yellow building here, as you see, it looks very renovated. That's another ryokan that we saw a video of, a girl stayed at. And it's right here in front of this hot spring here that we just did. So it's nice to see that this has been renovated. And then right past it here, this tan color building is a cafe. We'll see it when we go up the ramp here. And they're not open today. I was hoping to. We followed them on Instagram. But yeah, nice little cafe there that you can drink your coffee and pastries and have it right here on the river. And as I said, we follow them on Instagram. And actually there was like a festival here in Amagase last weekend, I believe it was. But yeah, it's really nice that they try to bring the community together and have festivals here on the river and have activities and vendors and everybody that came in. So that was really neat to see. All right, I was wrong. This is not the cafe, but this here is the entrance to the Red Bridge. And they have this nice thing made out of pallets for you to bring your cafe food and drinks from. And I believe this right here is the cafe, this tan building. So I am wrong. This one here, the tan one on the water is called Go Raku, and it looks like they serve eel, so it's a restaurant. But here across from it is the cafe, and you see the little Ryokan hot springs guy on there. That's their emblem for the restaurant as well. Now, not only do they have the hot springs down in the water, they actually do have indoor onsens here, and this is one right here. And right here we do have a sweet shop, and it looks like it's open, so I think we're gonna go inside and maybe get a snack. So we did step into the sweet shop and picked up a few things. So I'm not sure what the flavorings are, but these are like the pancake, but the azuki bean paste, and I believe this might be sweet potato if I remember from the one video.
And then this is warabi mochi. So it's mochi with some type of coating on it.
Yeah, it's another dessert. So it's all from the sweet shop, and we'll eat those a little later. But we need to make it back to the train station, so let's go. And we have made it back to the Amagase train station. So arigatou gozaimasu, Amagase. Thank you for having us. So hello. So this is only half of the day. So after Amagase, we went on up to Hita, and we're just gonna make that a whole different video because there was a lot going on up there as well. So we're gonna go ahead and debrief our time at Amagase Onsen. So I really enjoyed our time there. It was really cool.
It was way too short. I'm so sad that it was way too short.
Yeah, and the reason being is because of the train schedule. A train only comes through there every couple of hours, so we only had 2 hours there due to the fact that when we took the train in, we had 2 hours for the next train came, and if we missed it, which was my worry in the video, we would have had to wait another 2 hours to catch the next one. So not frequent, so a little bit of time, but we got in what we could.
To be honest, I don't even remember how Amagase came to be. I think I was looking for Hita information for Attack on Titan, and that's when a whole bunch of under tags for Hita, a picture popped up with this serene, small countryside town with hot springs on the outside. And one of the things I've always wanted to do way before I met Chad was go into the mountains or just find one of those natural springs that you hear so much about and just relax in it. And so that was just awesome. It was right next to a river. It was tattoo friendly. And it just seemed something great, just a little side quest that you could easily do.
Yeah, and after she brought it to my attention, and I was bringing up on Google Maps trying to find all the different little hot springs along the river, that's when Google had a little spot for the waterfall, and looked at the pictures, and man, it was awesome to know that it was right there. So that's why we had to go see the waterfall, and that again was one of my favorite parts of the visit. There was seeing such a massive waterfall right up close. Didn't have to go out in the middle of nowhere to see it. So that was great.
I've also seen pictures of that area packed full of tourists.
Yeah. That's why we wanted to go early as well.
So we went early. It is the best time to go.
Yeah.
But we were the only ones there.
Yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and touch on the flood that happened. At the time, I didn't have the information readily available. So I have brought up an article from the Kyoto News, and I'll just summarize their headline, and I'll put a link to this article in the description if you want to read the whole thing. So the Kyoto News states that they didn't state the date. So this article is from July 9th, but they state the prior Saturday, which would actually be July 4th, 2020. They state, torrential rain in southwestern Japan has caused devastating damage to inns at a popular hot spring resort. Amagase, one of the 3 popular onsen towns in the Ōita prefecture, had been known for the natural beauty and open-air baths. But the overflowing Kusu River has left the area flooded and washed away a landmark river-spanning iron bridge following a deluge that started last Saturday. Again, this article is on July 9th, so it'll be July 4th. Mm-hmm. And has claimed the lives of 60 people in Kyushu, with at least 13 others missing. Wow.
Oh, I didn't know there was deaths. How sad. Oh, it's such a really, really cute and peaceful town, and I hope people return to it as they keep improving on it and renovating it.
Yes, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here talking about the businesses and things that they lost and some photos. So again, I will leave a link to this article in the Kyoto News in the description below. And
with that flood came a program that you found out about.
Yeah, right? So the cafe that we were looking for that we mentioned in the video, they are actually a part of a restoration group. So there's a community restoration group called Amagase Mira, also known as Amagase Onsen Future Creation Project. So according to the Instagram, again, I'll link it to their Instagram, it states that this is an organization established by local volunteers to restore the Tanagashiki, which we assume is another name that they're using for Amagase hot spring town, which suffered extensive damage from the heavy rains in July of 2020 to make it a better hot spring town. And
when we were there, we noticed all the little work that they were doing and everything that was already renovated, and it was like the red bridge was apparently
that was
away.
The bridge. Yeah, that was the bridge you were talking about in the article.
New, I believe it's brand new.
Yeah.
And they were restoring some of the onsen, the hot springs on the river.
They're working to try to bring this town back to life, back to its glory times, and we saw that while we were there.
Yeah, and even before we got there, we went a little bit off season. I found pictures a little bit before October, like during the summertime, that there were a lot of visitors and a lot of kids, like field trips, and they were playing in the water. They were, and participating in the local stuff that they have to offer there.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the video, as we were headed up the ramp out of the riverbed, they do have festivals from time to time.
And they have fireworks.
Through the summer, they have fireworks. And again, I believe that also then goes into where the waterfall is lit up at night as well. Yes. So I think this organization, or a organization's putting that on. It might be used as a fundraising situation to then use that money to restore it. So it's really cool to see that they're going to try to bring this back to life, and I hope that they're successful because it is a big area, and right now it seems very abandoned.
Very, very abandoned. It was so eerie. Just there was a few people, the locals that live there, because people do live there.
Yep, still a town.
It was just so eerie, just walking, and so peaceful. It'll be exciting to see how it has changed in the next 2-3 years. Yeah, we're really excited.
So before we sign off here, we'll touch on the one big thing that was in the video. Otherwise, the process of actually using an outdoor hot spring. Again, so it's not really like a swimming pool. It is literally the bathtub. And that's why the gentleman came and joined us in the first one, because they're locals. And
most apartments over there are really, really teeny tiny. And they don't have bathrooms in their apartments. Or
don't at least have a bathtub. They may have running water for toilets, but not baths.
So they usually have a communal bathhouses that they could go to.
Which is tradition from a long time ago when there wasn't running water. But yeah, it was interesting.
But this town happens to have some on the river, and that's where people go and commute.
Which is the first one that we went to, as a nice private one that's covered, and it was full of gentlemen in there. So that's why we just kept walking past them, and we found that second one, which we did get in and didn't show, because by the time we were just getting undressed, they were showing up, and obviously they didn't care that we were there. And it was kind of funny. The one guy was like, "It's hot, hot, hot."
It was super hot. I was very, very, very super embarrassed, but I figured these people, these gentlemen, or anyone I came across to are never ever gonna see me ever again. Who knows? They might, if we go back. That's their local bath.
But they won't remember us at that point.
So I just went for it, and I wish I could have stayed in a little longer, but it was extremely, and I love hot water. It was a little too much.
It's like right on the edge of boiling almost.
Almost boiling. My skin was turning red, but
super tingly.
But even for them, which I've heard can tolerate even more heat than, because they're used to bathing in hot water.
And that one guy said it was just too hot. It was
just too hot. So
but I think they were really pumping it that day.
So we're still super glad we got to try it. I would love to try it again, just to see how long I could tolerate it for more. But I'm so happy that, as you saw in the video, there was another more
cooler
hot spring out there.
And that was one I showed up us in it, and we only could spend, again, a little bit of time due to the fact that we needed to make the train, but at least we got to do that experience. And so yeah.
One thing to note also, there are a few of them that do allow you to wear your bathing suit in there, but I forgot to research last minute which ones exactly those were.
I think that actually was the two that we did.
I think it was.
But so again, no one really is showing it.
I technically could have been wearing my bathing suit. And they also provide, the gift shop also provides like a robe type thing for women and for men.
But that's not open.
And it wasn't open though. It opens later throughout the day, end of the day.
So at the train station there's a visitor center, and at the visitor center you can rent towels and bathing covers. But again, we were there so early, right as things were opening, and the visitor center wasn't opening. Couldn't do that either. But
that was another thing. Since it was super early in the morning, we thought people wouldn't be there, but there were people there.
But not as many as we've seen.
But you just gotta
dive right on it. So we hope you enjoyed the first half of our first full day in Japan. We really enjoyed being in Amagase, as we mentioned, and coming up in the next video we will be doing the second half, which we were in Hita. And the craziest part of that is I actually drove a car, and again, they drive on the opposite side, so that was interesting, and so I can't wait for you to experience that with us. So until next time, be safe, be kind, and adventure on. Bye! Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below.